Last week, we talked a little bit about workers' compensation and some of the things you should know when you file. Well, today we're going to get a little deeper into this issue and touch on some recent changes in the law. Catherine Stone from Barbas Law is back. And Catherine, I mean, workers' comp seems kind of overwhelming from what I'm learning from you based on last week.
There's a lot of little nuances that, that there's a lot of little nooks and crannies. And, I've been doing this a long time, and so has my law firm. And we understand workers' compensation law, and not a lot of attorneys touch that area of the law.
And you can kind of help navigate the waters, and especially the financial side of things. We touched on it a little bit last week, but again, we're giving it a whole segment because there's a lot to it.
Well, in addition to the medical treatment, obviously, the next biggest topic that we talk about with clients is the financial aspect of it. You're not going to work if you're not going to work because you have disability restrictions from your doctor and your employer can't accommodate those restrictions, or you're totally off work and you're still actively treating for your injuries, you should be receiving workers' compensation benefits. There's two categories for the temporary part: temporary total, which means you're totally off work, and temporary partial, which means you have restrictions that preclude you from doing your job. And so what happened was a recent case, the Florida Supreme Court just determined that the temporary total disability benefits that was capped at 104 weeks, essentially 2 years, the Florida Supreme Court reviewed a firefighter from St. Pete who was still actively treating at the 2-year mark, and because he wasn't at maximum medical improvement, which is a legal term, basically he wasn't as good as he was going to get, he was still treating, he wasn't eligible for the next permanent category, which is permanent total disability benefits. So he had a coverage gap issue.
Oh, yeah.
And so the Florida Supreme Court determined that part of the statute unconstitutional, and now has extended those benefits from 104 weeks to 260 weeks, which is essentially 5 years.
So, please correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like we talk about always getting a lawyer, if you are in an accident. But in this case, it's almost like if you didn't have a lawyer at that time and you're on workers' comp now, it's still better to be educated and have somebody on your side.
It's definitely better to have someone on your side monitoring your case and making sure that you're always getting the benefits that you're entitled to. And that's what our law firm primarily focuses on, is we're there to make sure that you're getting every benefit that you're eligible for under the workers' comp system. I would encourage individuals, in light of this most recent opinion from the Florida Supreme Court, if your workers' compensation case is still open and you're still actively treating with a doctor and your money benefits stopped at the 2-year mark, and you haven't received any monies after that, I encourage you to call us, because you may be entitled now under what we call the Westfall decision to be entitled to additional temporary benefits.
So again, what to do if your benefits do stop in workers' comp case? You're saying get on the phone, because that might not be the end of the story.
Correct.
Man, lots of nuances again in workers' comp, and I'm excited to say we're going to be talking more about this in the upcoming weeks. But if you have questions right now about your rights, well, just give them a call, 1-800-BARBAS-LAW, or go to barbaslaw.com/knowyourrights. Thank you so much, Catherine. Always enjoy having you here.
Thank you.